Tonight, when you look up at the sky, the moon will be there. Bright, familiar, eternal. But what if tomorrow night it wasn't? What if you stepped outside and found nothing but darkness where that pale companion had always been? No warning, no explanation, just gone. Before we get started, check out the link in the description to download our ebook. In the next 10 minutes, you're going to discover what would actually happen to our planet, to life, to you, if the moon disappeared tomorrow. And I promise you, the answer is far stranger and more terrifying than you think. We take the moon for granted. It's been there for 4.5 billion years. Born from a collision so violent it nearly destroyed the early Earth. A Mars-sized object slammed into our planet, and from that cosmic catastrophe, the moon was born. Ever since, it's been our silent partner, our celestial companion, watching over us from 250,000 miles away. But the moon isn't just a pretty light in the night sky. It's the reason Earth is habitable at all. Right now, as you're listening to this, the moon is pulling on our oceans with its gravity, creating the tides that have shaped coastlines and marine ecosystems for billions of years. Every beach you've ever walked on, every tide pool teeming with life, exists because the moon is up there, tugging at the water. The moon also stabilizes Earth's axial tilt. Our planet spins at a 23.5-degree angle, and the moon keeps that angle steady. Without it, Earth would wobble chaotically, like a spinning top losing its balance. That stability gives us consistent seasons, predictable climates, and the conditions that allowed complex life to evolve. And here's something most people don't realize. The moon is slowly stealing Earth's rotational energy. Billions of years ago, a day on Earth was only 6 hours long. The moon's gravitational pull has been gradually slowing our rotation, giving us the 24-hour day we know today. It's still slowing us down at a rate of about 1.7 milliseconds per century. Humans have worshipped the moon, navigated by it, written poetry about it, and eventually walked on it. Entire calendars are built around its phases. Animals time their mating and migration by its cycles. The moon isn't just part of our sky, it's woven into the fabric of life on Earth. So what happens when it vanishes? Let's say it happens at midnight. You're asleep. Somewhere above you, without a sound, without a trace, the moon simply ceases to exist. Not destroyed, not moved. Just gone, as if it never was. The first people to notice would be the ones still awake. Astronomers, late-night wanderers, insomniacs, staring out their windows. They'd see a hole in the sky where the moon should be. Social media would explode within minutes. Panic, confusion, conspiracy theories, spreading faster than anyone could fact-check. Governments would scramble for explanations. Religious leaders would call it an omen. Scientists would be baffled, because in all our physics, in all our understanding of the universe, there's no known force that could simply erase a celestial body. But while humans are panicking, the Earth is already feeling the effects. The oceans don't know the moon is gone yet. Tidal bulges are still moving across the planet, pushed by momentum and the sun's gravity. But within hours, the tides would begin to change. The sun does create tides, but they're only about 40% as strong as the moon's. Within a day, coastal communities around the world would notice something's wrong. High tide isn't as high, low tide isn't as low. The rhythm of the ocean, unchanged for billions of years, would be broken. In the days following the disappearance, the changes would accelerate. Marine life that depends on tidal cycles would be thrown into chaos. Sea turtles that time their egg-laying to specific tides would struggle to reproduce. Crabs, fish, and countless other species that rely on tidal zones would face disruption. Coastal ecosystems, shaped by the push and pull of moon-driven tides, would begin to shift and collapse. But that's just the beginning. Remember how the moon stabilizes Earth's tilt. Without it, our planet would start to wobble. Not immediately, not dramatically, but over years and decades, the wobble would grow. Earth's axis could swing anywhere from 0 degrees to 85 degrees. Imagine the North Pole suddenly pointing toward the sun. Imagine seasons becoming so extreme that the equator freezes while the poles bake in endless summer heat. Climate zones would shift unpredictably. Rainforests could turn to deserts. Ice ages could sweep across continents without warning, and Earth's rotation would begin to change. Without the moon's gravitational drag, our planet would stop slowing down the way it has been. But there's a twist. The redistribution of mass in the oceans, no longer shaped by lunar tides, could actually affect how fast the Earth spins. Some models suggest days could eventually become as short as 8 hours. Others suggest they might lengthen. The truth is, we don't know for certain. But one thing is clear: the 24-hour day, the cycle that every living thing on this planet has adapted to, would be gone. Let's jump ahead. Centuries have passed, millennia. The Earth without the moon is almost unrecognizable. The climate swings wildly between extremes as the axial tilt wobbles unpredictably. Ice caps grow and shrink in cycles that no one can predict. Species that can't adapt quickly enough go extinct. Evolution lurches in chaotic new directions, driven by instability rather than gradual change. Human civilization, if it survives, would have to adapt to a world in constant flux. Agriculture would become nearly impossible in many regions as seasonal patterns vanish. Coastal cities, built around ancient tide patterns, would be abandoned or redesigned. The night sky would be darker, more filled with stars, but also more alien. That familiar face we saw in the moon, the one that inspired countless myths and stories, would be gone from human memory. Children would grow up never knowing what it was like to see moonlight. And here's the truly haunting part. Without the moon, Earth might never have been able to support complex life in the first place. The stability we took for granted, the rhythms we built our biology around, were gifts from that ancient collision 4.5 billion years ago. We are, in a very real sense, children of the moon, and without it, we would be orphans in a hostile cosmos. But let's talk about what the numbers and models can't capture. The moon is more than gravity and tides. It's been humanity's companion since the first human looked up at the night sky. Every culture on Earth has moon myths, moon gods, moon stories. The word month comes from moon. The word lunacy comes from the belief that the full moon could drive people mad. Lovers have kissed under it. Poets have written about it. Wolves have howled at it. Astronauts have walked on it and looked back at Earth, seeing our blue planet hanging in the void, and understood for the first time how fragile and precious our home truly is. If the moon vanished, we wouldn't just lose a celestial object, we'd lose a piece of our identity. Every generation that came after would grow up in a world slightly darker, slightly less magical. They'd read about the moon in history books the way we read about extinct animals. They'd see it in old photographs and videos and wonder what it must have been like to stand beneath it. The absence wouldn't just be in the sky, it would be in our hearts. So here's the truth. The moon isn't going anywhere, it's actually drifting away from us, slowly, at about 1.5 inches per year, but it'll be here long after we're gone. This thought experiment, this nightmare scenario, it's not a prediction, it's a reminder. We live in a universe held together by invisible forces: gravity, time, chaos, and chance. The moon is there because of a cosmic accident, a collision that could have destroyed Earth instead of creating the perfect conditions for life. We exist because of a billion fortunate coincidences, and the moon is one of them. So tonight, when you step outside, look up. See that pale light in the darkness, and remember what it does for you. It pulls the oceans, it steadies the Earth, it lights the night, and maybe, just maybe, it reminds us that we're part of something much bigger than ourselves. A story written in gravity and stone, 4.5 billion years in the making. The moon will be there tomorrow, and the day after that, and we should never stop being grateful for it. Because in the grand cosmic lottery, we won. And the moon is proof.